It's already starting, right?
All right.
I'm sure you're going to
Starting right now. The clap.
Okay.
All right, we're starting. Everyone cheers.
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 Happy Father's
To
Day.
Papi, to Ceballos.
Yes, cheers.
Cheers.
Danny, that thing is recorded. Thank you.
Oh, yes, it is. Aguardiente?
Aguardiente, pero this is the.
it's soft.
the
That was
yellow
smooth.
one.
I mean, it's
Very smooth.
It's
That was
smooth.
smooth. What are you talking about?
not as bad as
I thought we needed a chaser, but I'm like, oh, I'm
Typically
good.
tastes like.
Chaser. Yeah, mandarin for the chase.
Oh, my goodness, that was a strong drink. Welcome back,
Internet.
internet people, my 10 viewers at least so far, to the show Talk is Deep. And officially, I'm here on Father's Day with my family. This is my sister, older sister Nichole, my mom, Beatriz Ceballos, my dad, George
Amayo.
Ceballos, and Erick Ceballos, the youngest.
That's me.
Yay, we're all here.
Ceballos
Father's Day.
Tamayo.
Hello.
And
Ceballos
I don't want to
Tamayo.
listen down when we get too hot. So this is much better. I'll just have the headphones on to test everything. So welcome again. Talk is Deep. Introduce my guest. And how's everyone doing today?
I'm
Great.
tired.
Oh,
today.
Here.
For context, I work a night shift, so this is usually my bedtime.
Yes. Please talk like normal. This is the whole point of the thing. Just don't hold things back. Like always explain everything. So
Oh,
context.
yeah, I get it.
So context, explain why you're tired.
I just did. I drive.
No, but like, well, you work night shift, but
I work
you're-
night shift at the hospital, so like I
you go.
worked last night from like 11 p.m. to I'm on a reverse schedule for everybody. So like this is like, it's what like it's like 2:45 p.m. This is my a.m. time, basically.
Good
So-
morning.
Thank
Morning.
you. Yeah.
I'm doing right. I had like a pool day yesterday with friends. So
nice.
yeah, just relaxing today
Yeah.
for Father's Day.
No.
One more Father's Day.
We were basically here yesterday with
Your mom.
with your grandmother, and we were just watching her relaxing because she had a fall, so she was just here with us. We were taking care of her, making sure that she didn't have any secondary symptoms after the fall that she had. I mean, she had a lot of bruises, but other than that, she's okay.
Good.
So she was happy to be here with us. So yesterday we watched some movies with her. That's what she likes. I mean, she's up there, 87 years old. So
We love abuela.
that's what she wants. She doesn't do a whole lot of stuff anymore, that physical.
Yeah, recently it was her birthday.
So
87, huh?
87.
Okay.
Okay. So to get into this first, we're at my parents' house. They live in Katy. And as you can see, I got way more setup now. Got more new mics, more professional mics. So hopefully that the audio comes off clearer this time. Also got a Rode soundboard. So that helps to, have the ability to have 4 mics recording all at once. And obviously there's 5 of us. So hopefully it's not going to be too bad. And what else can I say? I think we're I feel like we're going to cover a lot of topics, in a way. I have a lot of questions that we can all to pique everyone's interest and see who wants to say what. And to start, let's say when was the last time we were all together? I'm trying to remember.
Been a while.
Mother's Day?
No.
No.
Tampoco.
Go back.
But like
Remember back.
our
Go back.
Mother's Day
Ah,
hangout.
Yes.
Yeah, when we hung out, like
Before-
Palm Day.
Oh, that's
It was a
right.
Palm Day that we were all together. Went to Mass.
So right before Easter weekend.
Yep.
Just a week.
April.
At one time
So it's
we
been
were-
like a month and a half.
we were confused what day was that, Danny. That it wasn't. You weren't too sure if it was Easter. but
Oh, yeah, it was-
No, it was Palm
Or
Sunday.
it was the
Palm
weekend before
Sunday.
Easter
It was April.
weekend.
I was tired then too.
Oh, you were tired too.
Yeah.
Remember because he woke up for church.
Yeah, I
We
woke
went
up
to
for church.
Uh huh.
That's a struggle night shift. I'm just tired whenever. Great.
All the time.
That was.
I get enough sleep. It's a reverse thing. Might as well be a vampire at this point without the blood.
So we're so happy that Danny is joining us this weekend.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
I mean, I didn't come. Also, I didn't come just to do this. This was just originally my plan was to just interview my parents, but then my mom had a good bright idea of saying, "Hey, let's make this like a family thing. Well, we never get together. We never have the time to get together. Let's try to make it a whole episode of us together." And I thought, okay, I can try to make that work. And here we are trying. This is the attempt. So hopefully the attempt actually works too. And you're right, it's crazy. It's been a while since we've last all gotten together, and very rarely do we as we gotten older, don't. Even though I'm the one that lives far away. I'm the one that lives in Austin. You, Erick, and Nichole, y'all still live here, and y'all still have the ability, especially Erick, because you live with mom and dad still.
Yeah, great.
And Nichole in Houston.
Nichole can live in Houston.
Not so close.
Yeah, even
Takes
if you
an
live in
effort
Houston.
for her to come here.
Yeah.
In Katy, it's like she's an
it's
hour
40
away
minutes, yeah.
from, like, it still takes a while to get here.
Yeah, if you're in Houston, you're an hour away from everything.
Yes,
it doesn't
exactly.
matter where you
Doesn't
are.
matter where you are. If you're in Houston, it takes an hour to get anywhere.
Minimum.
And so with that, just, reflecting on just being here now with y'all, it's crazy that, a lot lately I've been thinking about our old house at 23602 Shadow Creek,
Yeah?
and just that time we've had here. I think I remember I had a dream recently about all of us being there, the fireplace in the corner, the columns, the kitchen, the white table, which apparently we reholstered these chairs. We still have a part of it at
We
least.
still have it.
Yeah.
Have it. A part of it's
There's
at my
tiny
house.
little bits and pieces all over from this
All
house
over that.
that's still there. Like we have the angel way over there that we used to put on the Christmas tree way up in the corner.
Is that what that is?
That was that's the angel we used to put on the
Mom.
Christmas tree.
I just noticed that.
Why would she lose that? It was there.
Yeah, but using that for decoration?
No,
That's
no,
Christmas
it's just that it
decoration.
was left from Christmas, and I've been wanting to bring it down.
I mean,
but-
it's June.
You wanted to bring it, Mom. It's been there
It's
for like
left
at
over
least
from
a
Christmas.
year.
It's June.
Oh,
No.
I swear.
December, sweetheart.
Okay.
April.
I did.
Point is, there's just bits and pieces from the old house still lingering everywhere.
Well, I mean, why not? Why wouldn't you have
Yeah.
some of the same?
Oh, yeah.
We should have taken the tree.
We said that too. I remember I was like, Mom, why we have all these? We have a eucalyptus plant tree. We had pears. We had limes. We had that tree.
Mandarin.
We had a fig. Well, we have a fig tree now,
Big
but
trees,
we had it-
bushes.
We had that tree that growing up we planted. That was like we each had a tree of our own. Like essentially, like
Oh, that's right. Each of you
I had
have a
like
name.
my tree. Nichole had her tree, and my tree was the biggest one. Remember, it became the biggest one in the yard.
I see
Yeah.
it, the oak.
I wonder if it's still there.
Still, that one
It's
is
still
the one-
there.
the
I
one
think
they
that
came
that's the
from.
one they
That one-
kept.
One.
Yeah.
It's so huge. It's
That's the one that's
very
so big. They were like, "Ah, I can't take this on.
I remember
You can't turn that.
I remember the last picture I took of like the backyard is because we used to have like that bird that was like made into a tire in the backyard that got absorbed in the tree
Oh,
over the
yeah,
years.
that's
that's
right.
right.
Yeah.
The tree ate it.
Because like it ate it. Like it's hard to describe it like from the podcast, but it's like it used to be just like a hanging. That used to be like a tire just shaped into like a bird.
Yeah, if you ever been to like a third world country, they
Yeah, I was like in
sometimes will
Mexico,
Mexico,
you'll see
Mexico.
they'll
those.
use tires and they'll reshape them into like art. So
Yeah.
this one was like in the shape of a.
I forgot.
Bird.
And
No,
Toucan. Yeah, it was a toucan.
Toucan.
It was a toucan.
Toucan.
Yeah.
I remember.
That's
It was
right.
a
I do
toucan,
remember.
and it was supposed to be like a flower bed
Mhm.
type of thing. But
And then got eaten
hanging
by the
there
and then
and
it's
then
not
gone.
just stuck.
Yeah, it
it's one-
just stuck
it's
forever
one
in
with
that
the
tree. Nature is amazing.
But going back to that too, just like our childhood was just, our childhood home was amazing. I think looking back at that, we had such a big house, such a big yard. We all respectively had our own rooms. Eventually, at one point, I know it wasn't the whole time. Nichole had her own room separately, but then I know me and Erick shared a room.
We shared it until
Well,
like
a little bit,
I'm
then
thinking,
little.
you got separated.
like at least like a year or
We
two.
have visitors that stayed at home, family,
Every month.
relatives. Elena was one.
Well, I don't even say you
And-
stayed. Like, oh, you mean
and
stayed?
Maria
Like,
Fernanda.
yeah, they
Yeah, they
lived
lived
there
there
for a
for
while.
a
Yeah,
while.
not
Alejo.
live.
Alejandro too.
Mhm.
Mickey,
Yes.
Mickey, did Mickey ever stay at our house? Live there?
Mickey.
You remember Mickey? You don't remember? You probably don't remember Mickey.
Probably not.
Mickey.
Mickey?
was
Mickey,
really Mickey.
the Mexican.
The Mexican.
Oh,
No.
Tammy,
No.
Tammy.
Timmy.
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 Why did I think his name was Mickey?
Mickey,
I
no
don't know.
Timmy.
Oh,
No,
Timmy.
No, he never lived
he
with
only
us.
worked on.
He only worked with us.
No.
But no.
I definitely remember Alejo like a lot near the end because he was like the last one.
And
Your
Like
delay.
the
mom's
last like
cousins.
guest before we like eventually like started moving out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of good times, I think. And,
Yeah.
I'm now in my 30s. Nicole's gonna be 32.
She's still 29.
Yeah, forever 29.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't look our age though. I know, Nicole. Do you get told all the time like you're 32? Like people like
Yeah.
think
All the time. They're like,
28.
you're 30? I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah.
You're
When
like,
I show the
she's
videos
like,
to my friends, it's, oh my, she's what, 24? So
Yeah,
she's
so
not
young looking.
24. Yes.
I'm sure Nicole's like, you're free to lie whenever people say that,
Yeah.
though.
even like obviously if I shave my beard, I don't know about Eric. 'Cause Eric, you grow ever since you've matured, you just keep growing it out. For
Yeah,
me,
well,
I started doing it just this year, I think, or this past year, and even with this, I still can get like 28, 27. I'm just like, yes,
Yes.
like oh, thank you, that's such a
And
compliment.
you
No.
still look very young.
And
yeah,
I'll be
if I shave,
You
it
got
just
good
looks
skin.
young. I just shout out to minoxidil for my beard because without that, I would not have it. So, that's basically what it is. I just keep growing it out. It's easy. So, but yeah, I get called older and younger. It's weird. Someone like when I went to a festival recently, they thought I was like almost 30. I was like, okay, maybe I should shave more. But yeah.
And the resemblance of the Ceballos is more, some people say it's more on him, some others on you.
Yeah, if I grow a goatee, I'm basically him. I'm basically
You
dad.
have a little bit of that Tamayo Rivera. Anyway, a good mixed.
What else can we say? I don't know about my siblings. I'm trying to think. What do you fondly remember about our childhood? Home, at least.
I just remember like it was just nice the set, like just the neighborhood in general. Like we just like I used to bike a lot. I remember I don't like specifically remember, but I remember like me and you and like I think some other I forget if it was like close friends. We like explored the bayou or something like that.
Yeah, the Bayou with the
Didn't we like
Brian.
I think I'm Brian. That was
Brian.
definitely Brian and some other people. And then like we like dredged like in the sewer at some point for just no reason besides like if I read it, I never would have done that. But yeah. But yeah, it
You
was
with
just
the trampoline and your friends. I remember that a lot, having a lot of your friends on that trampoline. I have
Yeah.
a bunch of pictures.
Yeah, I
so
remember. Yeah, I love. Yeah, that's a good memory. I also kind of, the first thing that comes to my mind is the same thing that comes to Eric is just running around in those fields. That's just something that I constantly think of when I remember my childhood. The three-wheeler. The three-wheeler was something I remember a lot, like having Danny and Eric be on that three-wheeler in the fields, and we'd take them when they were still building the neighborhoods. And so that's something that I think is really cool because at least we don't see that anymore.
Yeah, that was the generation that you still had that opportunity to get out and do stuff outside and enjoy nature, enjoy playing.
We really were like the last street kids. So that's just something I cherish and will always remember because we got to do that. Some kids even in that generation didn't get to do that, but we very much did because we had siblings to be outside with.
Yes, and the fake
the pool.
Yeah, the
That.
man-made pool.
Yeah, we bet like I remember
What
the
pool?
entire we had a pool like on the entire our childhood we kind of just like we want a pool. We want
The little fountain.
Above ground.
No, we had the fountain, like a tiny little pond thing. We had like at some point
we
near
had
the
a above
end,
ground.
we got like an above ground pool at some point, and you don't remember it much because it failed like after like a month
You don't
because we
remember
didn't
that?
clean it.
No, I do. I just was a little.
It was just a small bit, yeah. It wasn't around long.
Sophia, and then
Mhm.
you enjoyed it for a few weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know some
We
friends of
just
mine
a few
came over, but
weekends.
then like we were kids, we didn't know how to maintain a pool. So like after like I think you guys went on vacation, and then while we were gone, we just noticed like, oh, this pool's kind of green, and we didn't really know how to fix it, and eventually I think it just broke.
Yeah.
So we
That's
just-
exactly what happened. See, Eric has good memory.
Yeah, it was just
It
like
broke.
Y'all went on vacation. We were kids. We didn't know how to take care of a pool. We got it for the summer, and that's basically what happened. I
Yeah,
mean,
just by the end of summer,
by
it
the end
was
of summer,
done.
it was done.
Yeah.
Like,
And then what about the chickens?
Oh, yeah, the
Buddy,
chickens.
Right.
But I want to
the
go back to
chickens
the
too,
three wheeler though. That's a good point.
Okay.
Um,
Go back
it
to
starts the lore of me being able to find. I'm Daniel Ceballos, and I find lost things.
Yeah.
I've always been finding things. I think it was when I was 8, Poppy, or 9, where the next door neighbors to the left of us were throwing it out. And then I was just like, Dad, like, look. And he was like, what? My dad was like, what? It was like, I want that. He's like, well, go ask them.
Oh yeah,
What's
that's
wrong
right.
with it? And so I went to them. They're like, oh, yeah, it's just we've had it for a long time and it's missing a few parts. And I posted this post. I don't know if, Dad, you read it yet, the Instagram post. Did you read it? No, I mean, it's okay if you haven't, but I think in the post I mentioned how my dad is so intelligent, so smart that he's everything for us. He's been the handyman, the mechanic, the tutor for all of his kids. There's nothing my dad doesn't know how to do. And my dad would just
There's
like,
plenty that I don't know how to do, but
There's-
just try.
and so with that, like my dad was easily able to fix the thing. And then from there, we just got a free three-wheeler. Three-wheeler, yeah. And we loved that thing. I love that thing.
We loved that thing.
And I loved it the most. And
Like,
I remember
yeah,
the day it broke and I got so upset because technically I thought it was more mine than one. But
Yeah.
that Nicole's friends were using it and then eventually it just went, it died.
Oh.
And I was like,
Yeah.
like I wanted, that's mine. Why'd y'all break it? But it was fine, you know. That's the things that you don't realize as a kid, like you don't appreciate. You're just like, that's my thing. I want it. It's my toy. You broke my toy.
Mhm.
Rather than sharing. And yeah, those were good memories though. I remember all the tricks we used to like balance it on two wheels. We were crazy.
Yeah.
We were crazy kids.
Like for being
Well,
so
little-
young.
And jumping from the
we
top of
did
the
so
roof.
many
Yeah, the
dangerous
top of the-
kids
the
things
roof.
as little kids.
Yeah, jumping off the roof onto the trampoline.
Going back to the whole like nowadays kids don't do that anymore. They are more so like, you know, what would you call it? Like they're not babied or they're like
Sheltered?
shelter. There you go. That's the word. Shelter. They are.
Yeah,
You
shelter.
don't see kids nowadays jumping off of their house roof onto a
Yeah.
trampoline like it's nothing. Not even that, Nicole. Do you remember how we lived in a 2-story house and we had that walkway?
Like a
Yeah,
garage
yeah,
was
we
the
would
garage
jump
was
off-
separate
yeah.
from like
Oh,
the
this-
house.
No, the catwalk
The catwalk.
inside
the
the house.
catwalk.
Oh, yeah, well,
So-
that too, yeah.
Whenever mom and dad would go out sometimes,
We would jump off.
we
of
would
the
jump off the
catwalk
catwalk onto the couch.
I do.
You
remember
she
this.
didn't know this.
I never knew that.
Wait, y'all never knew that?
That's why the couch
Oh
broke
my
then.
God.
Yeah.
For real?
We would just be like, wee.
Oh my God, you guys.
It was a big couch.
But that
We were crazy kids, I
Yeah, we
think.
were.
what I think it also has to do with
How we're not
Culture.
sheltered anymore, yeah.
I think it's more of a cultural thing because you guys are I would say you kind of like third or second generation that grew up here. I'll say it that way because I was born outside the States, but your uncle, he was born here, and then you guys were also born here. So it's kind of weird. I mean, you could say it's a second gen or a third gen, right? They grew up in the States. But growing up, me and my brother, we traveled so much, and then we live in different countries, and that's what kids used to do. So to me, having you guys jumping off or the roof into the trampoline, it was kind of normal, you know. While other parents would probably say that man is crazy, you know, they're letting his kids do that. But we did that as kids, and we didn't really. We were not sheltered for sure. I mean, we did a whole lot of stuff that now come and realize it was dangerous. I mean, it was we could have got hurt really bad with some of the stuff that we did. But I mean, it was different times, and I didn't want you guys to not experience some of it. You know, I think it makes you stronger to do things like that. Get hurt. I mean, and then not be afraid to do it again.
Like
Yeah.
he was so passionate about fire.
Yo?
Oh yeah, you were the pyromaniac.
You were going to be a fireman at one
No,
point.
you didn't. Don't say
Because
that.
you
You thought I was
started-
going to be a
started-
veteran, a vet.
We thought you were gonna be all sorts of things.
All sort of,
All sort of
Yeah,
things
that's
because
it.
you were. I mean, you
even the
You did a
the
lot of
fire
animal
department-
things, yeah.
The fire department came at one time because the fire, the smoke was
Oh,
so
yeah.
Yeah,
so
you were just
hard.
you weren't like setting things on fire
No,
just
but you
randomly.
just
but
liked to play with
You need
fire.
you need to give back. Okay, I'm not like
Go back. Yes.
He's not like an arsonist trying to burn stuff to
I'm
the
not
ground.
that mean with that girl like standing in the background of the fire going,
Yeah, just like burning a house
But,
down.
like
It's just,
almost.
yeah, almost.
but like if there was a fire pit, you would be the kid that's like fueling the fire
Well,
constantly.
do you remember in Colombia where like we were I don't know where we were at, but there was like a volleyball court. It had these big tall palm trees. It was middle of the night.
Okay.
Y'all, I'm trying to tell a story. Do you remember
yes,
the story at all?
That was one of the farms that we
And we started this fire
Yes.
with all these dead palm trees, and I was just like, God, we need more stuff to burn. Please help us. And next thing you know, these leaves just come crashing down off the tree. And I was like, he listens.
Yeah, he was very primal with it, you know.
Yeah,
a
we're
little bit.
fascinated
A
with-
little bit.
But
Yeah,
yes,
you
the
loved
whole
it.
and back to that story with the thing, Mom. Don't just you have to like explain the story.
Yeah, explain.
We
You
had
explain.
this white stone brick wall that
Yes.
surrounded our backline fence, and
Mm-hmm.
so because of that, we grew a bunch of weeds and vines and all these type of vegetation, like what would you call it? Vegetation that overgrows stuff.
Yeah, like
yeah, because there's
That's
nothing
a
but
weed.
fields
That's a weed.
behind that white
Yeah.
wall.
So sometimes you would ask, or I would just do it for fun because I had something to burn. I would cut them and trim them off, and then I would burn it because there was so much of it
Yeah,
to
you'd
get rid
burn
of it
it.
instead of throwing it away because there was too much in the trash. And then, yeah, like you said, at one point, I had so much fun doing it that I caused such a big fire that the fire department showed up. They were like, "What's going on back here? You can't be doing this."
It's like you can't just burn stuff, like because we literally just had like an area, I think, like right behind like where the garage was. Where you just,
Well, yeah, I remember
burned.
you used to climb that because the fence would stop against the white wall, and you would climb over and go and chop things up, and then bring it over. So trying to give more of a visualization too, like how do
Yeah.
you get over this 10-foot wall?
Yeah.
And we had a
It
it
little
was definitely more than 10
yeah, a
feet.
little ladder
Just a
and
ladder?
makeshift fences that we'd put against that wall so you'd climb over. Do you know how many snakes and stuff
Yes,
were
that's
probably
what at
back
one
there?
point He
I
used
mean,
to say.
yeah, there was. Remember, we had a bunch of snakes in our thing.
Yeah.
And then that big snake that we found.
Yeah.
Then we
Quite
had like
good.
cottonmouths. Like we're
We
surprised.
found a bunch of cottonmouths in our backyard at points, which is, I think the reason why I did that too is because we also had possums that would climb up the thing, and Buddy, our dachshund at the time, when we had him, we started getting a little worried about him fighting these possums at his
They were
old
bigger than
age.
him.
They were bigger than him, and he would still be able
He's
to
a
kill
wiener
them.
dog,
But
so.
as he got older, I was a little bit more worried about him capacity to fight them.
But it turns out possums are actually kind of past. I mean, they literally
They
play
were always
dead.
scared of him,
So
typically.
And he would still kill them because
that's what these do.
If anyone knows what dachshunds, wiener dogs are bred for, they're meant to go into the holes of badgers or foxes and
Any kind of like
Yeah, and
small
grab them.
vermin
Yeah.
and just
they're meant like as small as they are, they're mighty. They're a very mighty, confident dog.
yeah, they got that Napoleon complex and they're just bred to like.
No, that's Chihuahuas. Dachshunds don't have the Napoleon content.
I mean, I don't know. Whenever like,
I think
whatever-
they do.
I mean, whenever like,
well, my dad would know if anything because also going back
They
to
don't,
dad.
But
Eric,
they-
wait, Eric, you go first.
well, like remember like I think I was there when like Buddy attacked Justin. That was our abuelo's dog when he was over at some point, and I was
explain that Justin is
he's a Doberman or like Great Dane.
No, Doberman.
No, it's a Doberman.
Yeah,
pure.
and like once he was like over at our house, just in our backyard chilling, like Buddy would always try like antagonizing. And at one point, they were separated with like a fence in the backyard. At one point, Buddy got through and attacked Justin, just like how like biting at his neck. And Justin, patient as he was, eventually was like, okay, this needs to stop now. And just immediately like showed him his place and just like grabbed him his neck. Got me go sobbing because I was like, I think I'm gonna watch my dog die.
Well,
But-
remember he pooped himself.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah,
literally-
Pop-
Yeah,
Pop-
dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, Buddy literally like okay, like
He pooped himself because he tried attacking Justin, and Justin corrected him. I was like, stop.
Yeah.
And like that one correction from this big dog that's 20 times the size of
Buddy.
Buddy.
and you're just like, I'm afraid.
yeah, he pooped himself.
yeah.
That's because also because Buddy was a miniature Dachshund,
Yeah.
not the regular Dachshund. So he was
miniature.
He was
he was
smaller.
tiny. He was miniature.
Yeah.
Then on that note, when you grab Onyx, they were very they felt very comfortable with each other.
Oh
They-
yeah,
they
that was
never
an
really-
immediate love.
Yeah.
They really liked each other. But that's because Onyx was a puppy.
Alex was a
Word.
puppy, and Buddy was kind of like on his last like couple of. I don't like how old.
When we
was
use
Buddy?
that is when in dogs when an older dog is already there and a puppy comes in, he grows up kind of respecting the older dog.
Uh-huh.
So it's not the same.
Yeah.
With Justin, it was two big dogs. They each had their own territory, and Justin was just there for us to watch. But of course, he was a bigger dog, and he was good. I mean, ignore him for a long time until he said, "Hey, enough of this little dog messing with me all the time."
And
Yeah.
plus, Buddy was just more territorial because he wasn't neutered. We never neutered a Buddy,
Right.
so
right.
he was always going to be a little bit more
Aggressive.
towards him. But it's a Doberman versus a mini dachshund. I mean, you can bet on what's going to win in that fight.
Right.
No, I mean, looking back to when I remember Buddy, I literally had this thought the other day. I was just like, how good of pet owners were we to Buddy compared to now? Because I think that's sometimes why I spoil Rubia so much and why I love her so much. Because I don't know if we were the best dog owners to Buddy. We could have been better, I think, to some extent.
I mean, we can't be too harsh. We were kids.
I know.
The thing is, we were kids, but I mean,
But I mean, that's no excuse in a way. Like, that's kind of like why mom why we kind of got rid of Kilo too at one point. We had a German Shepherd, and not only was he very loyal to us, he was so loyal to an extent that no one could be around him. No other dogs, no other people.
yeah,
And it just got too much for my mom. Because my mom
was pregnant with Eric too.
not only this was in the old house, right? Oh, but then when we moved to the new house, it was also too much, right? I think at one point too, even like I took him on a walk by myself at like 7, and he bit somebody, and then we had to give him away because we were little kids, we couldn't handle such a strong dog, and
Blind too.
blind.
Yeah, he was going blind.
Oh, yeah, he's getting older.
That was the most of the issue was that he wouldn't recognize. And he couldn't
anyone.
see who was a good or a bad
Person.
person. So
I mean, he could recognize scent, but like anything else, like any foreign, he'd definitely be like, "Who the hell are you?" kind of deal.
yeah, well, we gave him away to somebody that had another dog that would guide him. So
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, he went
I've
to a
seen
good
that
home
happen.
though,
Yeah, a nice big farm.
nice big farm.
but he didn't. It
Yeah,
was a legit farm. It wasn't. No, my parents didn't lie to us and be like, he went to a farm. No.
Right?
He could-
For a
he could
while, I thought that was the
prance
truth.
and run around
It's
the
like,
fields.
who you trying to
forever.
kid us? It's
The
like, no,
truth.
for real, the truth.
Yeah.
He went to a farm. I was
Yeah.
like,
Like
that's nice to know.
genuinely.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it was still very much a dog family. I have my own dog, if you can see her, but you've seen her in videos before. If you haven't, I have a dog. She's a girl, Rubia. She's 9 years old. My sister has mixed breed as well, Onyx. And
Onyx.
he's 11.
He's turning 11. Oh my gosh. He's turning 11
Is it today?
in 3 days. But it's just like a day that I chose. So,
Yeah, you don't really know his day.
no, because when I got him, they said that he was 2.5 months. So my
You chose his birthday.
yeah,
you know.
birthday. I was like, it's got to be somewhere in June. Like, let's just do the middle of June. But yeah, like my capture day was in September.
Mhm.
Yeah, and same with Ruby. I don't know exactly what day, but based off what the vet said and like estimate of her age, when I found her, October is when she's like born too, apparently. So I just pick a day in October to celebrate her birthday. So she'll be 9 then. And going back to all this, Eric doesn't have a dog yet, but I feel like eventually Eric would want a dog.
Like, it's not that I'm against it. It just like I
oh,
said,
no, I didn't say that. You weren't against it. Just
like
saying
it's
you don't
more of
have-
like with my sleep schedule. There's no way I can like raise a dog correctly if I'm really sleeping the entire day and then gone the entire night. So plus I'm also in the middle of grad school. I just don't have time to really raise a dog, and I know that. I'm honestly okay with any pet. I would like a dog, but I just don't. I know myself. I know I won't have time for it to give it the care that it needs.
Then all this comes circle in the fact that my dad growing up, he was the reason why we are such a dog-loving family. Because, Dad, you explain.
grandpa.
You tell in your own words.
It was more of your grandfather.
Grandpa,
Grandfather.
He was the dog
grandfather
breeder.
and my cousin's dad. They were dog groomers. They actually bought a farm to raise dogs, and they I guess my uncle was in I guess an influencer at the time to develop what they call now the Guatemalan Dogo, which is a breed that's actually registered at the American Kennel Club. Is the breed from Guatemala, and he was one of the big supporters of registering that dog and get the right standards and everything for it. So, yeah, your grandfather and him were big dog lovers, and they had a farm, like I said, with Rottweilers, Dobermans, and Weimaraners at one point, and they a lot of them were dog shows. So, yeah, I mean, we grew up with lots of dogs, lots of stories about the dogs that we had.
And birds and cats.
Yes,
Everything.
I mean, we had everything because my dad had dogs, my mom had to have birds and
one
cow.
and then
no, not a
Yeah,
cow. Even
inside.
at one point, you had a bull in an apartment.
yeah, we had a bull
House.
in a house, in a small
a
house,
a small house.
It
and
was small.
yeah, we kind of
story.
extended the stay of this calf when it came in, and we were going to move it to another farm, and for some reason something happened. My dad had to go out of town, and by the time he came back, he had some other project, and I mean, we kept on putting it off, and then when we finally said, hey, we need to do something with this animal. I mean, he needs to go to the farm. He had grown so much, we could barely make it go through the door. I mean, it was really, really pushing. We had people, we had some of the guys
whole
that helped
team.
at the farm to come over and pull, and some of us would push. I mean, it was really something to
Because you took the door down.
it would
and
never
still-
go away from me. Yeah, we had to take the frame out, everything.
Frame.
I
just to get
picture
the
like
whole
one of
thing.
those. Have you ever seen those elephant videos where like the elephant's trapped in a hole? Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a whole like
Yeah.
team
Kinda
of
what it
people
was,
to like
yeah.
get this bull out of this house. Like that's
Yeah,
insane
yeah.
to me.
I'm sure at some point you're like, if it's like we can't get this bull out, this bull's leaving one way or the other.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It's like either this bull's going to the farm or we're having
Barbacoa
prime rib
tonight.
tonight. that's all I can say.
Yeah.
I can
like
do that too.
This house is a
and
butcher.
the thing was that it was sad because he grew up in the backyard of this house, right? And then we took him to the farm, but he was just so used to people that somebody stole him because he would walk away with
I
anybody.
forgot about this part of the story.
Right, yeah.
I forgot about this part of the
Yeah,
story.
we
you said that
didn't-
happened.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we
Forgot
know,
about
like,
that part.
okay, so what happened? And the guide over there at the farm says, well, I was always having problems with him because he would just follow anybody. He was just he didn't see himself, I guess, as a bull, but he was like
A dog.
a dog.
Like it's like a difference between like a cow raised on a farm and like raised as a pet. You know, so it just kind of like you followed any kind of
Mhm.
person.
Yeah, he was just a nice guy.
He was a nice bull.
Nice bull.
Led away.
Really
and
nice.
I'm sure he tasted delicious for whoever they were.
This is a way to celebrate Father's Day with the family together, cheering up for
This
the
is a
union,
good. Yeah, keep going, ma'am. What you
the
saying?
union, the family, the kids.
Eso es más aguardiente.
Más aguardiente.
Eso es aguardiente.
Este es aguardiente,
Ay, fue cool.
sino que ese es el real. ¿Qué quieres ahorita? ¿Quieres
No,
tequila?
no. Aquí está. ¿Dónde está? Aquí está.
You want to
And
keep
that way I can learn to say, I said podcast.
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 Or
Podcast.
in the beginning was, we were so proud of our son leading this way and coming
What,
with
this-
all this.
oh, this stuff?
I said, Comcast? No,
Comcast.
podcast.
Yeah, Comcast.
Podcast.
Comcast.
My son works for Comcast.
I work for Comcast. I
That's
made my
what
own
it was.
Comcast.
Yeah.
But here he's doing it.
It's I want to say it's this is the beginning of it. Hopefully, I always will say this. I think it's hopefully becomes something, and this is all an accumulation of trying to do something. The other day when I first got here yesterday into town, I was talking to my mom about how I've been having all these stresses and worries about everything I'm doing right now, which I knew it was gonna eventually happen. Doubts of like, what am I doing this for? Like, I don't feel like no one's listening, no one's finding me funny yet. Like, but it's all the journey to the destination. I have to. I knew this was gonna come. I knew I was gonna have these feelings of anxious, like worry and doubts, and I can't think that way. Sorry, I can't think that way. It's not the right way to think. I have to just keep following, towing the line,
I mean,
And
most successful persons that are out there, it's very, very small group of people that they do one thing in the first time that they try it is successful.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of people out there that, take several tries, some months, even years,
yeah, to get
become
into it.
successful.
It took
and do
what?
what they got.
You can name so
So
many
you-
celebrities
yeah.
that have been told
So
no
you have
so many
to
times.
you have to keep trying. and
Exactly.
you have to find the way and find the one thing that you are going to be good and successful.
Exactly
at
what
it.
I was telling Mom. Like I did some self medication the night before I came to town, and it allows me to self reflect on all these things. Like you just said, Nichole, you have all these celebrities. You have Chappell Roan, who took 8 years just to make it to where she was. Starting yet last year, you had people like Meryl Streep that thought like Hollywood told her she was too ugly. You had
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln even. So Sylvester Stallone, like he was just that script for Rocky, he was set on like either cast me and put me in this movie or I'm not gonna let you make it. And look what happened to him, became a huge action star. All these things. And I know it's just I just started, I can't have these doubts of no one's gonna care what I listen to. But I feel like I have the confidence in the fact that this is authentic. I'm not trying to do this because everyone's doing this. I should try to make some money off of it, money grab. It's more, I feel like I'm trying to say something or put something out there in the world that people aren't doing or I've yet to see really happen. And so, even now that's the whole thing that's going on with ICE right now, the political climate's happening in America. I was thinking how proud I am that I come from. I know, Dad, you say we're not firstborn
First generation
here, but I still
Technically, we are.
Technically, we are though. You
we are
both,
first generation
both
from
you-
you guys.
both you and Mom came to this country as immigrants. From your respective countries. Mom, you from Colombia. Dad, you from Guatemala. And I don't, even to this day, even though as much of the stories I've heard of y'all coming here making it, I still don't. I will never understand the true depths of your sacrifice of y'all coming here. The lives y'all lived back then, I feel, are so different to what you. Would you agree or disagree? It's so different now. Like, look how much y'all have overcome to live this great life y'all live. And I tell Nichole and Erick all the time that y'all deserve everything that you have right now. All these trips you've been going on, this house you have, the life you live. It's all the steps that it's finally the end of the journey that y'all take. The destination, you have arrived. And here you are.
It's because
The product
them.
of their hard work.
Fruit of your labor.
Product of
Yes.
their work, yeah.
Yes.
Fruits of our labor, their labor.
The way I see it on that point is the fact that we came to this country with a dream, right? So, and a lot of people can say this, and maybe it's overused, the American dream, but to us, it was just more of an opportunity to be at peace, because at least when I came from my country, we came because there were a lot of things happening over there as far as political things, and a lot of people were targeting not because their political views in that case, but it was just because you contribute to the economics of the country. And of course, the first thing that these people try to do is mess with the economy, because the more they mess with the economy, the more people will follow, and the more people will demand that, this is we are poor because you people don't give us a chance. Well, that's not really the case. The case is people are not educated, and unfortunately, they think that they deserve a lot more without really working for it. So when we left, unfortunately, and then we came to this country, and yes, my father, your grandfather, had an education, and he had connections with American companies here. But still, you have to struggle to do better here. I knew how to read and knew how to write in English, but I could barely speak English. So I take it, I guess, as an experience in my life, and to a lot of people out there that listens to this is that I came and I went to high school here, to the last year of high school, my senior year. I did it here, and I put up with some bullying, I'm gonna say. I mean, because of the language, but I mean, if anything, I say growing up in other countries kind of makes you tough. Okay, so yes, you've been bullied, but you don't really care much about the bullying. You defend yourself. You don't go running at your parents or the teachers. You just make that bully stop. And I always say that to my kids. I said, parents need to teach the kids how to defend themselves, because a bully is not going to go after a poor kid that doesn't know how to defend himself. If you defend yourself, kick, bite, whatever, the bully is not going to come after you all the time, even though he could beat you, but you're trouble. I'm going to get hurt, even if it's not bad, if I can take it. They just, this little kid is trouble. So I'm just going to go to the next kid that, is just going to
Doesn't do
retract
anything.
and is weaker.
Yeah, like
So-
if you're gonna bully, it's
So,
like you.
so that's kind of like
That
the
always told-
society that I kind of grew up with back then. So I come here and I work and I work and pay for my schooling and did all this stuff. And you don't realize the blessing that it was until later on. I mean, not too long ago, a few years back, I went back to New Orleans where I met your mom, and I went out with your uncles, and we went to this restaurant where I used to know this guy from high school, and I always thought, wow, this guy is drives a really nice car, has a nice girlfriend, everything. I when I saw him, and I was like, oh, I would like to be that or have that when I was there. And he was a waiter at the restaurant where I work, washing dishes. And I didn't stay washing dishes. I learned how to cook. I moved on, except went to school. And then years later, I come back to New Orleans, and there he was. He was still a waiter.
It's still a
Not
way.
even years, decades.
And
Yeah.
and then I see, hey,
Decades
it's
later.
like, hey, I'm this person that came here, barely spoke English. When I met this guy, I mean, he had every opportunity to do better. He spoke the language. He was a kid from the U.S., and here I am, a guy that had to struggle for all of this that I have, and yet he's still doing the same thing. And that just goes to show, to me, it goes to show that people can still make it if they want to. But there's a lot of other people that really don't appreciate the opportunity and the things that this country can give you.
Which is exactly why, this is why everyone's so angry right now with what's going on.
Yes.
That all these immigrants here, they just want a chance. Even now, I look at it too, like, it's crazy how bad it is right now in our country that people are still thinking the American dream is feasible. Or they at least they have the hope, the faith, the belief that it can still they can still make it here. And that's why it's so bad what Trump has been putting out there, saying like, hey, these immigrants are illegal, they're illegal, so they're criminals, and then he's making up lies about what they're like actually doing when that's far from the truth. And
Far from the
and
truth.
if not only that, if there is some truth behind it, it's such a small percentage that makes up all these immigrants compared to what, like, maybe I don't know the actual stats, so don't quote me on it, but like, let's just say it's like 5% of all these illegal immigrants right now in the country are criminals, but the 95% are just people who made it here because where they come from, it's so bad that, or they're just trying to hope to make enough money here, send back to their families to support their families back where they come from. That's all immigrants are trying to do.
And on top of all of that too, they had to go through so much turmoil to just get the citizenship, and everyone else is just focusing on the other half of this. Like, I think most people are dumb and think that they just like walk in and they sign a piece of paper and all of a sudden they have a citizenship. Like that is not it.
It's not like the
at
Ellis
all.
Islands
So on top of that, and
then even like how they're trying to deport kids, kids, they're trying to even find a way to
taking them away from their own adoptive parents.
Yes, or as well as they are trying to even find like law. I don't know if this is laws or trying to make laws. Eric knows more than anything, right? They're trying to make laws that they're trying to actually revoke visas or citizenships from people who already have their citizenship,
or like for asylum,
which
like
they pay lots of money for.
Yeah, like all the legal fees, everything, like it all adds up, and all these people that are coming here, it's just
the way I see it. I'm gonna tell you. I mean, I was watching The Pianist the other day, and I see how they started segregating all the Jews during World War II, right? And the blacks and everybody else. So to me, that's again, people out there who wants to say, that Christopher Columbus was, the demise of the cultures here, and that it was bad that he claimed to discover America. You have to keep those books, you have to keep up those monuments to these people as a reminder, if anything, instead of saying, hey, this was bad, so since bad, we got to get away with it. The problem with that is that there's not a reminder for things like that to happen again. And what this guy is doing right now is
it's repeating itself.
It's a different people, but it's repeating itself. The same thing. He is putting one group against another and making it believe that, they are all bad, they're all that. It's not true. I said, if anything, where are these lessons that we learned from the past have gone? You can't treat people like that. Instead of unifying people, you keep separating them. And I don't blame only Trump. I blame the Democrats and I blame the Republicans. For years, I mean, as long as I live in this country, I mean, and I was a teenager when I got here, and I'm in my 60s now. I've been hearing we're going to do something about immigration laws. That's all I've been hearing. And yes, I came here legally, but still, I mean, I know people that have struggled to get here, and I don't see them doing anything about it. It's just a bunch of promises, and they do nothing about it. And then this guy now, I don't know what, some Hispanic person did something bad to him that he had this hate towards them. I mean, really.
He's like
a jalapeno did him wrong.
My cleaning lady, his cleaning lady Lupita was just like, Senor Trump, I don't have a mop today. He's like, but Lupita, my floors need cleaning. Get out.
Yeah.
He's like, they should all get out of this country.
I mean,
now.
I feel like we also kind of do like the fact that like Trump is 79. He grew up like I don't know exactly when segregation laws started coming in, but like he definitely grew up like right when like either they started or I'm not the biggest history buff on that part, but like regardless, like that climate when he grew up in wasn't exactly the kind.
Exactly, which is why everyone's so like, why do we keep electing white old men into our role as president of the United States? Like we needed people like granted
we need people.
We need a younger generation
like Alex
to lead the new generation.
We need people like Alexandra. I don't know the
AOC or who
the liberal governor for governess of New York, Alexandra. I don't know her last name. I have to look it up. Charlie. Sorry, Charlie. Where you at, Charlie? Yeah, I don't know if you know that joke, but essentially.
Do you mean like the mayor, like the running mayor?
I don't really think that the problem I see with that is that we have extremes. Okay. We have one president, the past president, who opened up the borders to anybody that wanted to come in, which to me is also a mistake.
Alexandria Cortez.
Cortez.
That's
Okay.
Cortez.
That's what I'm saying. We need
But then
someone
you
like
have
her.
somebody else that completely wants to close it up, and he keeps on talking about common sense, but there's nothing of common sense on the same
Oh, I
on the
know.
same thing.
Common
Yeah,
sense.
everything
Common sense.
to him is common sense. I said, well, your laws and the way that you act, they're not
Is
common
not common
sense.
sense.
There is no black and white, and we all know that. It's everything in life is kind of gray, and there's so many things that you have to look at if you want to be fair to people. And again, I mean, that's what I've tried as a father. I tried to teach you guys that. I hope that you guys can pass that on to the next generation. But like I said, I just don't see me as an adult, or I guess, I mean, an older person here now. I would say, what have we learned, if anything, what have we learned all these years, especially if I go and look at history, and we all should put more attention to history. To me, as we got to say, but we got to say, what have we learned? And is this the best that we can do? That we still talking about racism and black, Chinese, Hispanics, Muslims, Buddhists, whatever you want to call it. Let's all try to grow up and live in peace.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the human race will do so much better if we start calling each other by grouping or segregating people based on the race or the religion. We all need to just try to get along.
Yes,
respect each other.
Exactly. I mean, that's
Use each other for our strengths. Like,
Yeah,
what's
that's
so
it.
hard about accepting that some people may be stronger in other areas than not? That's where you have collaboration and unity and peace.
not even that, but sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, but even well, exactly that too. I would
In
say
very
it's more
simple
like
basis.
not other people are better than the people. It's more like our differences makes
The
us
skill
unique
sets.
that we can use. Like, okay, you know this because maybe I don't know if when your culture taught you this, and so that's why you're so good at that. I know this because my culture taught me how to be hardworking and tough. Let's put these two, collaborate together, and make a better life project, whatever we're working on, unit on what we're doing. And that was a dream, I think, of America, that
Yeah.
anyone can come from anywhere. We were just a unified country made up of all these different people, and
Cultures.
because of that, that's what actually make America great, not just one people.
Right, like,
like
we are the Americans. Like the Americans are made of nothing but everyone else's cultures, and it's just so sad how that is lost.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
like we're losing that for some reason because of the person who's currently in charge. So
I think that we're in a pretty good, I want to say, good city though. Weirdly enough, Houston is
like
so
one of the most diverse
diverse,
cities.
and so I feel like we're one of those last cities in a way, even though we're in a red state, that really loves their cultures. That they make all these different fusions in regards to restaurant. They still like
You're
want
in
to
Chinatown.
appreciate the cultures, and I think that's a big reason why I stay in this city. Although I want to like leave so bad and live somewhere else, I love the diversity that I still have here because it's a shock when you go anywhere else.
yeah, that's even in
It's a
Austin,
shock.
as liberal as it is, it's you can't get good Colombian food there. Sadly,
No.
you really can't. Not even Venezuelan food. You really only get good Tex-Mex food, and they just now are starting to have some decent restaurants, but sometimes I feel it's upcharged because it's like
It's trendy.
it's kind of like
awesome.
trendy. It's Austin. It's new. It's fancy.
all the Californians
Yeah,
coming in.
Houston's
with their
still,
the
like,
LA
is
kind of
known-
like vibe.
Yeah, like,
But
I think-
Houston's still known for that.
No, we still hold on to our grime, and like that grime is authenticity. So you still get that like that culture, and like we really like vibe with it. Like don't mess with it.
Yeah.
But if you want to be trendy and cute, you can go over here to the Montrose Collective.
Yeah.
Like you can get both.
I know.
So-
Yeah, I know. In the previous episode, I was shitting on Houston, but I was just like, I still love Houston. I love Houston, and
I mean, there's plenty to show on Houston. I mean, that Katy Freeway is an abomination.
all the crime rate going up here. It's
Yeah.
still a thing, right? You know,
Still
Well,
I
going.
mean that's
everywhere.
Crime's everywhere though,
Crimes everywhere.
and
Get away from that.
So as to wrap up this whole subject on immigrants. Just want to say, I'm glad I'm using, and then now I have this platform that I can use it to say, because I know I'm not it's not that I don't appreciate like spreading awareness and putting on posts like from New York Times or wherever saying, hey, like people pay attention to this, like my followers. But now I have this platform where I can actually say my own words, my own thoughts, and explain like how I actually feel on the subject rather than just post someone else's words and their thoughts. Because sometimes for me, I feel like people, that's why we lose attention on these things. We just see them and be like, oh, that's not what they're saying. Like, I want to hear people just see a post like that and just skip to the next story.
Yeah.
Rather than maybe if I explain my own thoughts, my own rationality behind how I actually feel on a subject, maybe then people will actually listen. And hopefully people who listen to this episode will get that I am very proud to be an immigrant, came from parents that came to this country as immigrants. And yes.
We're like the
And I'm
last of
very
the
proud.
Yeah, you should be.
Very
And
proud of
I'm
our
very proud of
moments.
it too.
Tell mom.
Yeah, like
You've been waiting
cheers
on this
to
Chinese
that.
stuff.
Right, mom's been dying for the shot.
She's like, I poured this 20 minutes ago, and it's still not there. Like,
But one thing I wanted to like jump back to real quickly. I know we're wrapping this up, but like on the like topic of immigrant kids, I'm proud of the confident kids that mom and dad made out of us. And I think we're like the like street scene that we were talking about, like being on that 3-wheeler, like those type of experiences created the confidence that we have in us, the boldness that we have. Like we were able to just truly be independent at such a young age. And if we got in trouble or hurt, like we didn't have parents around to take care of us and help us in those moments. Like we had to figure it out on our own. And so I think that has just bled into our adulthood and how you're making this podcast right now. So you can use this platform and talk about these experiences and educate other people who don't know what it's like to be a first generation Latinx, because that's what we are. So you're giving more resources out there for people to hear our experiences and how we're feeling in these moments, this political time right now. It's tough. So I'm really proud that we're like one of the last generations to have this confidence. So keep going, because this can go somewhere, right?
And I want to add to that these 3 kids are ours are full of talent. They let their talent go and
Be expressive.
be expressive and have that the fusion of the mix of Latin with American. Probably some of you know that Nichole is one of those professional dancers, shuffling, and she won the other day a big
Content.
500 smackaroos.
yes.
Yeah,
Doll
now
hairs.
competition.
Yeah, now,
Shout out to Bauhaus.
yeah, and she started as an actress, but
She's an actress
kind of
too.
didn't follow the path that she wanted. She followed the other direction.
If anything, Nichole did the most. She was a cheerleader. She was in basketball. She was in band.
She was in
And then-
dance.
She was in
Flute,
Track,
and-
band,
yeah,
yeah,
playing
flute,
the flute,
dancing.
dancing,
Birds.
acting, even.
Yeah.
And I still say to this day, you're still the best part of that movie.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
She really was.
First
And
4
this-
minutes,
and
and I
this
was like, yeah,
family
that
It
was
was all right. They killed the lead starring actress
In the beginning.
like
Then we
Pedro
fall-
Pascal. Like, why'd you kill that guy? I'm kidding.
Yeah, because then we follow like what, like
You-
two
you
like
killed the
white
Pedro
guys,
Pascal guys.
like looking out for La Llorona. It's like, okay, yeah, you killed.
these kids
Okay.
are full of talent. Erick, and he plays the guitar. And I know the art in this family is one of the things that kind of fulfill them in a way that kind of distresses or take the stress out of their life.
Well, I think
which
it's
is-
also that's what we got from you, Mom. That you were
Oh yeah.
the art, the passion,
vibrancy.
Yeah, the
which
creative.
is like the summation of what a Colombian is.
Seriously.
the
The color.
the
Yeah.
color,
The
like,
color, yes.
that's why they
The
made the
life.
movie Encanto. It's so bright and vivid
Yes.
because Colombian just extrude.
Exude.
Exude that in them, And Mom, we would wake up to you, playing music. I mean, all Latina moms did this, but especially our mom, it was just like nonstop music in
Zumba class at
music in
home.
the house.
Yeah, I
What-
can't. I
what
can't
my
count
mom does now.
how many
She's a Zumba
times,
instructor and all that.
like,
She
come-
dances and sings, all these things.
Coming
That's-
in what in the music or
Like
what?
no, I can't. Like I can't count how many times I came home from school and I just in the middle of the living room, you're just dancing and like having your Zoom instructor. I'm like, oh, this is happening. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, mom
Yeah.
used to do that too.
Yeah,
Just
they
walking
can
the
have the
class
classes
going
at
on.
home.
Yeah.
Why
That
do you
was so-
think I don't ever stop dancing? Like I didn't see like it was always in front of
Yeah,
me,
you
so I
guys
just
grew
had
up.
to
Yeah,
keep going.
and another podcast episode I listened to yesterday explains that you don't realize what you pick up from your parents. You know,
Uh-huh.
like what you just by seeing it.
Subconsciously. it just sticks with
Subconsciously, you know, there's, you know, Poppy, you said this story is always told so many ways. How you told me the story first. That's how I heard the story of how this two twin brothers grew up with an alcoholic dad, and when they grew up, one was a good man, was sober, and the other one became an alcoholic just like their dad.
Yeah.
And when someone asked them both, "Why are you the way you are?" and they both answered the same way, "I learned from my dad."
Yes.
So I'm just saying that for anything that you could pick up from your parents. You know, why are we the way we are? We get it from our parents. Like I said in my post today, I think we all are so intelligent, mostly both due to both our parents, but especially my dad. I think my dad's quite intelligent. My brother, I think, is the smarter one of all of us because he's getting his master's right now in psychology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of us. I mean, I'm an engineer. That's my day job. And Nichole is
Yeah,
a
what
little
am
bit
I?
is especially a little bit of everything. But the more talented one for sure. I think.
No, but yes, maybe. But
yeah.
but yes, I am in tech. So, and I love my job. Yeah,
I'll
as
say
a
probably the
training
most
specialist.
outgoing,
Outgoing and
Outgoing,
sociable.
most-
less
That's the goal.
less afraid to try any new thing.
Make
right
new
away.
friends.
I do things solo. I love doing things. Solo.
If anyone was gonna make it, I thought Nichole was gonna make it.
Yeah,
You know,
we still have time.
she has, yeah. There's no timeline that doesn't exist. There's no such thing as, oh, I'm late for something or I'm too early.
Yeah,
And then going back to my parents, one thing I feel like we really picked up is, well, I feel like I did. I don't know how y'all two agree that how love endures all things, and but love is hard. It's not this easiest thing in the world. You know, growing up, it really, there were times you would think that, that my parents would get not divorced, but, just that's something I feel like you
as
think-
kids, you just get scared because you,
you
see
get
them
scared
fight,
and
and
you
you're
see
like,
them
oh my
fighting.
god, they're
It's
gonna
like, what's going
separate.
on?
Yeah.
That's what I mean to say.
You see them fight, we
Yeah.
get scared, but it's like, don't worry, we have the Wii. Let's just go play some Mario Kart.
Yeah, yeah.
Things like
Let's
that.
go.
Yeah.
But yeah, because nowadays too, you don't see that. I've been telling a lot of my friends who are couples right now, Nichole, you included, that you and Mike have been together for 10 plus years, right?
Almost 10 years
Almost
now.
10 years now. You have my friend Cody and Lena who have been together plus 10 plus years. Travis and Ariel. But besides that, I don't think. Oh, then I have Alec, but she's got married. But there's not a lot of my friends that have been couples or were in a relationship with someone that they've lasted. I know more people that have been divorced or broken up with a long time relationship than been together with a loving relationship for the longest time they have.
Yeah, it's that love that really helps nurture.
And I think we all
A lot of what
maybe
we
I don't know
have.
if we all believe in it as. I mean, I believe like love is the reason for everything. That's my philosophy on life. Zelda Fitzgerald said this quote. She said, "I don't want to love first. I want to live life and love. I want to live life first and love incidentally." Oh no, I want to love first and live life incidentally. Sorry, so I'm gonna say it again.
Okay, yeah. I was like, wait,
I don't want to.
I want
You
to.
can look up the
I don't
quote
want
if
to.
you
No,
need
I know the quote. I don't want to love. You're messing me up. It's the shots. The aguardiente.
It's the shot,
I just felt the
Are
aguardiente.
you that much of a lightweight? That was only two.
I'm hungry.
I think
I'm
So
hungry.
she says this. I got it. I don't want to live first. I want to love first and live life incidentally. That's the quote.
right.
love that.
My take on that is that we, as all humans, we learn or to love later, okay? Because as a young person, that's when we look the best. That's when we are the freshest, So, I mean, the first thing that you notice is how pretty she is, how handsome he is, and oh yes, we have so many things in common, but at that point, you're really not completely formed. I mean, you're still young and trying to find yourself. It's just you find a few things that are common, and then you decide, okay, this is the person I'm gonna go with.
Well,
And
you
then
basically-
what happens?
You're saying the opposite of what the
Basically-
quote is.
No, what you're basically saying is, when you're young, you're horny as shit.
Yes.
And when you get older, you're like, oh, love is work. It's not actually all fun and games.
Yes, but
it's not just.
there has to be certain. Yeah, I mean, yes, the physical part is big when you're young.
Plays and play.
I mean,
Yes,
oh,
But then
course.
is the work that it takes once you become a couple
That's where the love
to
grows.
keep up. That's when you feel really love.
yeah, I mean,
Because
like,
if you're willing to put up the time to keep going with this one person,
Which is, yeah, what
that's love.
Yeah.
And in the future, if you first you had to love yourself and be happy with yourself in order to love others and to be happy.
Exactly.
Happiness is a decision. It's not an
Exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say. They're finding that more and more now that love is a choice rather than
Choice.
just a decision. You
Mhm.
can't just, be like, oh, I love this person. We can make things work.
Yeah, no,
So,
it's a
unfortunately,
choice.
it's a choice. And it gets harder, especially as this world, it gets harder as well to live in. That it definitely is a choice. But yeah, just going back to again, I feel like my parents are the reason why maybe I believe in it so much. That why love is to my core is the reason for everything. Especially that movie, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. If you haven't seen it, I swear to God,
You have to
it explains it
It's-
so well how love is the core of everything this life is, whether it's a person or a thing or a passion you have. That's all that it takes to give you a reason to live this life.
Say the name again.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Okay, you got it.
You got it.
Cheers, y'all. That was great.
You want to be done?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, it's
Aren't you hungry?
I am hungry.
In an hour?
Well, yeah, there's so
I'm
much I
doing
feel like we can
fine.
say, but
Oh,
We can
yeah,
come back
I
for
think
another
We can
episode,
come back
right?
for another episode too.
Because
We
people are
can
going to
go on.
fall in love with us and be like, oh my God, talk some more.
It's like yeah. Talk some more. I love that. Yeah, because there's so much I still think I wanted to talk about, and this
Yeah.
will.
There's still plenty to go.
Yeah.
As a family, I think that we have plenty of things to say,
Oh,
and plenty of things to share. I mean, whether your listeners will want to hear more about it, they'll let you know, and then we can do a second
Exactly.
one,
I
and a
mean-
third, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So I definitely want to have, originally, like I said, I wanted to have original, like your episode, mom and dad, or just separate. And then I told Eric he was the first one I interviewed out of all of us, all of y'all three, that I was like, Eric, I want you to have your own podcast episode with me so we can talk about like brotherly things and our experience growing up as brothers. And then Nichole, you too, as well. I wanted to have an episode of you talking about our experiences growing up as brother and sister.
Mhm.
But yes, I guess the way I want to end it too is also saying, like, bug on me.
Yeah.
How, you don't have, sometimes it's hard. I feel like this podcast also helps me realize that it allows me to say the things I've always had difficulty saying to y'all. I think growing up, being the child I was with bipolar disorder and not even struggling with that. And, that's something I've wanted to talk to y'all about. We can talk about another time, that I know y'all didn't really realize the struggle I was going through. And that comes with our culture. We kind of had a stigma on mental disorders, mental health. That wasn't really a thing. And to me, it felt like because of that, you never really understood me. And so whenever y'all would talk to me or lecture me, I never could find the words because I just felt like y'all are right, I'm wrong. There's nothing wrong with me. And that was not the case. That's something I've talked to my therapist about, how it was hard growing up with that. But now with this, I have the outlet and the confidence to also say all these things that I've been wanting to say to y'all. And one would being just like how much I appreciate y'all, how much y'all have done for not just me, but for us. It took me to this point in my life to realize the sacrifices y'all did and how much y'all gave to us, and I just want to say how much I appreciate y'all, how much I love y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
We love you.
Um,
We love you so
All right, to wrap it up, let's plug in a few things.
much. What?
Eric, you want to plug in your anything?
Eric.
We'll
like
save it
that.
for another
I
time.
told him
I'm
the same
okay.
thing.
Just plug in. Okay, if anyone can shout out Eric, I'll plug in his socials. Dad, mom, thank you for everything you did again. Do you want to plug anything? You still have your talent. You still have your business too. Your Zumba. Or no?
My Zumba, this is a hobby. Really, it's a hobby. When I go teach my classes,
She's like, it's a
no.
hobby I get paid for.
As
It's
long
not
as
a
she
big
gets
deal.
paid for
I'm
it.
so passionate that I had to drive so far away that it's just
But you get to do what you love.
whatever they pay me is.
What I'm trying to
and
do.
whenever you find passion
Right
in
too.
what you do, you never work in your life.
Mhm.
So whatever it passes you, don't think about how much money you're gonna get out of it. As long as you're doing it with love, with passion, you never work a day on your life. So just so much love in this family that I feel fulfilled. My heart gets so full of emotions and all these great feelings that that's all I had to say. That I love my kids, I love my husband, and we're just trying to live day by day, find
Okay.
happiness in whatever you do.
And then lastly, Nichole, the princess of the family,
Princesa.
I am the
the model, the actress, the dancer. I mean,
The musician.
I have her socials too.
wanna do
I'll
everything.
plug them in, but
Yeah.
yes, you need a dancer.
Yeah.
She got you. I mean, she's a paid dancer now. She's been paid, so
Yeah.
you want her, you have to hire her.
She taught
Yeah.
me, so
Exactly.
go.
I mean, I will be charging for shuffle classes eventually when I start teaching them.
There you go.
But yeah, that'll be coming. So just follow my socials. I'll be posting on there.
There you go. All right. Everyone, please follow,
One thing,
subscribe,
one
like, or do whatever you want. I don't care. Once again, what?
One
I
blessing.
just wanted I want to
last
say
thing,
that it was nice to do this. I mean, I don't usually listen to a lot of podcasts, but since Danny started doing them, I'm listening, and I probably have called him a couple of times and said a few things that I think that he may want to change or not. I mean, I don't know if it's just the father and me trying to make him successful at it, and I think that he also needs to be a little more careful about some things. I guess I want to protect him for anything that could happen for him. But I say overall, I'm very proud of what he's doing, and I guess one thing that stuck to my kids growing up is, and I realized, I mean, sometimes I was hard, but I remember when they used to fall or something, I would let them cry. And then they cried and cried a little bit, and then I would say,
You
"Well,
wanna cry
okay,
some
enough."
more?
I'll say enough.
I'm
There's
tired.
not, you cried enough. You let it out. I said, don't go overboard with this. I said, you fall, you get up, you keep going. And I kept on telling them that as he was growing up. It's like, you fall, you learn. It's every time you fall is so you can learn to get up again. And that's basically, hopefully, what they got out of this house, that we will fail sometimes, but we have to keep going, and we have to keep following the dreams that we have and following the problems or solutions that we need to find to do what we want to do. So
That's perfect. That's a good way to end it. All right.
And on the Father's Day episode.
Adios, Father's Day episode.
Father's Day
Bye.
episode. Father's Day.